Salvete omnes. Welcome back to the AP Latin live stream for our last week. My name is Jenny Luongo. I teach at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, we made it, Jenny. At least to this week. We'll see if
At
we get
least to
through this
Monday.
week. Yeah.
Still got to make it till Friday.
Yeah, I'm Ben Johnson. I teach at Hamden Academy in Hamden, Maine. No snow this week for the first week, I think, since this live stream started. I don't think we're going to get any. So let's go to the PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, that sounds good. We got to remind them that we're still the AP Latin people. And you know what, Ben? We haven't had any snow since we've been doing this. And as a matter of fact, we haven't had any snow this year, really. I mean, every once in a while, something starts falling from the sky that's like snowy hail, and my daughter gets excited. But yeah, it's just not a thing here in Austin, Texas.
It's also May the 4th, right?
Yes, we didn't say that, but May the 4th be with you.
I like May the 4th day before the nones of May be with you. How about that?
That's beautiful.
Okay.
That's just beautiful. So you all, today is one of your opportunities this week. The other will be Wednesday when we're going to be going through a full practice of the 2020 AP Latin exam. We want to warn you that you're going to be completing 2 questions that are representative of the tasks you'll see on this year's exam within the time period that's actually allotted for the exam. And while these are designed to be similar in structure and format to what you're going to see on the exam, they're not necessarily going to be the actual passages, the actual content that you'll see on this year's exam. But I bet you guys knew that already. So we'll just go through really fast the plan for the week. We're going to do a timed practice test today. Tomorrow, Ben and I will be back with you, and we'll go over all of the answers and kind of talk through some of the problem sections that you might have encountered. On Wednesday, we'll do another practice timed with you. On Thursday, we'll go over that. And then on Friday, we have some fun planned. We're going to have a visitor. The chief reader of this year's AP exam is going to join us. We're excited about that. And then also we're planning some sort of final review game. So we haven't decided what yet, but you guys can give us your feedback as always about what you'd prefer.
Yeah, I think we should play that final review game with the chief reader. How about that?
You know what?
See. We'll see if she's game.
She'll be game. I bet she'll be game. So that would be fun. That'd be fun. We'll see if the kids can beat her.
Okay, so format for tonight's practice exam, because we have some things to go through first, but we want to make sure that that we can get into this as quickly as possible. So the questions are at this tinyurl.com URL. Which is also linked below this video here. So it would be great. Now's probably the time for you to go to that tinyurl.com/AP Latin sample questions, all one word. And you'll see that there's a Q1 and a Q2. So the first thing that you'll want is to download the questions now, but don't look at them. Like, the whole point of this is to give you practice of the time pressure and the questions and so forth. So if you look at them now, you're kind of destroying like the time pressure and so forth. And these aren't graded. We're giving hundreds out to everyone, even though they're not graded. So like, don't worry about that. Like, this is all practice. So tonight we have what we call Q1, which is 25 minutes plus a 5-minute upload period. And Q1, just to let you know, consists of a Virgil passage and a Caesar question. Caesar passage. So you might think that it's 2 questions, but we're considering it 1 question because it's in 1 chunk of time. And then the Q2 is the sight reading based off of the works of Virgil. And that is 15 minutes plus a 5-minute upload time. So during the official AP exam, you use the 5-minute extra minutes to upload your responses. We're going to count down from 30 minutes and call time when that 5-minute upload period begins, so that you know like when you really need to be uploading stuff. If you don't upload your responses before that 5-minute upload period expires, then you can't upload. So it's definitely a hard limit, and we'll talk about that in a second.
And Ben, we should really emphasize, because we usually give them the questions and they're able to see them while they're working on them. But it's really important that they go ahead and download these questions, because we're not going to be able to display them on the screen.
Right.
For the countdown.
Right, exactly. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. Right, the questions in detail will be on those documents at that tiny URL. So you should be going to there now as I'm talking here. So yes, you won't be able to practice uploading your responses this week, which is it's how it goes. But if you finish your response at that 25 minutes and you practice getting in that time period, 5 minutes should be more than enough to get it uploaded. So you can get out a piece of paper right now or a word processing document page to write down your answers, because there are a couple of ways that you can actually answer these questions. You can write it down on a piece of paper and take a picture and upload that, or you can copy and paste from like a Google Doc or a Word or Pages document, or even your Notes app or something like that. So make sure that you have something to write it down on. And then on tomorrow's live stream, we'll go over the answers and be sure to save your responses till then. Don't throw your piece of paper away, save your document. So again, go to this URL. It's also below the video here where you can get those questions. Download them, but please don't look at them for your own sake, I think. So Jenny, let's talk about how we can, how they will be uploading next week.
Yeah, so next week they're going to have several different options. The first option is that they're going to be able to type a response in some sort of Google Doc or Microsoft Word or Notes or whatever application. They're going to need to be sure to type their AP ID and initials at the top of the response. And then when the timer goes down to 5 minutes remaining, they're going to take their response and they're going to copy and paste it into the space indicated and click submit. It
This
is
works
probably
great,
going
right?
to,
If you have a computer with a big screen and you can put two windows side by side.
right, exactly. It's going to be helpful if you can put one window with a question beside the other window with your answers as you're typing them. Okay, so that's one option.
So the other option you can do, another option you can do is you can attach a document. So again, you'll be typing your responses in Google Docs or Microsoft Word or Notes or something like that. Don't include images. Like we're a lucky AP that we don't have images, so you don't have to worry about that. Save your work often. These are really important things for you to do. And then save the document as a .doc or .docx or PDF or TXT text file, or ODT, which is I think Open Office or something like that. Make sure you have your AP ID and initials at the top of the response, and at that 5-minute upload period beginning, attach your response and then click submit. And so just to let you know, we bolded here in orange. This exam has 2 questions, a Q1, which is the Virgil and Caesar passages that you've seen before, and then a Q2, which is the Virgil site. And so you have to create and attach 2 different documents for each of these questions. So you'll attach and upload a document for Q1, and then you'll move on to Q2, and then you'll attach and upload a different document for that Q2. So again, side-by-side windows works great if you're on a laptop or a desktop computer.
You'll also be able to get the exam if you choose this option on a smartphone or tablet. You can't choose both the laptop and the smartphone. It's one or the other. If you choose to receive it on something like a smartphone, then you are going to write your response on pen and paper. You must use a dark pen or pencil, because if it doesn't show up clearly in the picture you're going to take of your responses, that's going to be a big issue if the readers can't read your answer. When the timer counts down to 5 minutes remaining, you're going to take a photo of your response in vertical orientation, and you can submit a maximum of 5 photos per question. So each page needs to have its own photo, and then no more than 5 pages per question. You'll upload and attach all of those before you click submit, and that can be a JPEG or a PNG document.
Yeah, and sometimes phones maybe have different photo file formats and stuff. So just make sure that it's a PNG or a JPEG. And then you submit your response after you've attached or pasted your response by clicking attaching and then clicking submit. And if you don't click submit before the timer runs out, your response doesn't get uploaded and you can't, and it won't count. So you have to really make sure that at that 5-minute period, you start doing this process of however it is that you're going to attach or copy and paste all of your answers.
You, one thing that we should point out to them, Ben, is that it's
Yeah.
really important for them to wait for that your AP exam is complete message.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, because if they don't get it, then it means that your exam was not received, and you'll need to go to cb.org/request makeup to request to take the June exam, which would stink. So.
Right after, right. If your response continues to transfer after the exam ends, wait. Don't close out. And if you're uploading things, please don't quit out of any browser before that upload is complete and so forth. So yeah, really seeing that your AP exam is complete is really important. And when you see that too, you can breathe a sigh of relief, I think. So. Okay,
Absolutely.
so we're expecting that you guys have already downloaded the questions, but you haven't looked at them yet because that is not the whole point of this practice. This first question that we have here, Q1, which has a Virgil and a Caesar passage on it, is going to be 25 minutes. So we're going to call time warnings at what, with 5 minutes to go or after 20 minutes? And
Yeah, and
then
with 1 minute to go.
1 minute to go before the upload period.
Yeah.
So when we start the timer here on the next screen, it's going to count down from 30, okay? But you have to really pay attention to that 5 minutes to go is when that upload period begins. And we're gonna really kind of call time at with 5 minutes to go so that you really feel that pressure of that 25-minute period. And then we'll actually probably go on to the second question before the timer counts down all the way to 0. So just want to let you guys know, okay? So 30 minutes down to 10 minutes, we'll call 5 minutes, 5 minutes left to go when the timer has 10 minutes on it. And then when the timer has 6 minutes on it, we'll call 1 minute to go. And then time with 5 minutes to go, because that's when you start your uploading process. And I don't know, anything else that we should add?
I think they're ready to try for
Okay,
this first question, which is going to involve 2 passages. When we go to the next slide, you'll see that
yeah,
there are 2 passages with 9 questions each.
but the
And
questions are on the Google, on the form, on the document in the folder.
yep.
Yeah,
So
okay,
we'll hit start, and you can get going on those.
okay. So good luck, guys. And if you don't have the questions yet, pause the video and then pick us up on the other side. Okay,
Yep,
here we
sounds
go.
good.
Okay.
All right, so your time has begun for these 2 passages. You can see the passages on the screen just to verify that you're doing the right questions right now. There should be 9 questions on the Aeneid Book 1 passage and 9 questions on the De Bello Gallico Book 1 question. Good luck. We're going to go dark now, and we'll remind you when you've got 5 minutes remaining. We just want to remind you that you have 5 minutes left in your work period before your 5-minute upload period begins. You have 1 minute remaining in the testing period before your 5-minute upload period begins. 1 minute. Okay, so that's the end of your time, and now you notice that the clock has turned red. The reason for that is that it is imperative that within your 5-minute upload period, you get your answers submitted on the College Board website. We're not going to be doing the submission today, but we do think that it's important that you go ahead and stop your work now, even though it's mighty tempting to work into the 5-minute period. But it's very important to stop now. First of all, it's a good idea for you to do some reflection about which questions were challenging or difficult for you so that you can use the next week of prep time to really study for those particular questions. Additionally, in one of my classes this week, we did a practice, and at the 5-minute upload period, they were supposed to submit their answers on Google Classroom. And because one of my students tried to work until the very last minute, he didn't get his answers uploaded in time. And unfortunately, on the AP exam, if that happens to you, it means that you're not going to get credit for any of your work. Whereas if you turned in 16 or 17 of the answers rather than 18, then you would get a substantial credit if your answers are correct. So really important to go on, stop working, and start the work of getting your answers submitted. All right, so Ben, are we about ready to move on to question 2 for them now?
I think so. So if you haven't downloaded the question 2 from the resource folder, please do that now and pause the video because we're going to move on in a couple seconds. So I think we're ready, Jenny.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they're good to go. So you're going to be starting
Okay.
next on this Virgil site passage.
Okay, here we go. Good luck, guys. And remember, I'll be coming in with 5 minutes to go and then 1 minute to go to warn you about the time limit. And let us begin. So this is the Virgil site passage, and good luck. you Okay, you have 5 minutes left to finish your responses on the virtual site passage. Okay, you have 1 minute to finish your response. Okay, you'll notice that the timer has turned to red, and so this is the time that you should be finished with your site passage responses and working on uploading them. Jenny, let's get our cameras back on.
Sounds good. That was scary. It was so
Okay,
dark.
where am I? Okay, let's move on to the next slide, you think?
Yep, I think that's fine.
Okay. So we did want to say first off that we did find that there was a typo in the Virgil site or the Virgil syllabus reading that it was fair went ending in NT that should have just ended fair wet with a regular T. And so that will actually affect the question, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. That's kind of just how it goes. I mean,
there would never be, because there's so many proofreaders, there would never be an actual problem on the AP exam. So nobody stress, don't worry. And that was just an autocorrect thing, since fervent is an English word. Autocorrect.
Doing some work on my iPad with Latin is the worst. In fact, it autocorrects half the things and then going back and so forth. So
yeah, and you know what? That's kind of a tip for them because they're going to be working in Word or Google Docs, and they might want to turn autocorrect off so that their answers don't inadvertently get changed before submission.
Right, and in fact, like might want to should actually be read as you need to, probably, because if you're typing in Latin, you need to make sure that the Latin is there, because otherwise it might autocorrect it to something that is English that isn't really close to it. It might turn a Latin word into two English words. And you don't want to, even if you catch it, you don't want to get stressed and frustrated like me about 5 minutes ago when I typed the same Latin word like 5 times and it kept turning it into an English word. So yeah, make sure that you turn off autocorrect because we're working in Latin, and that's how it goes. Okay. So
yeah, absolutely. Not something we normally have to worry about, but something good to point out for this year. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so tomorrow we'll go over the answers for all of these. So please be sure to tune in to the live stream 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. And this slide has important links. You might have seen this if you've watched other videos today. Links to like my AP and AP Classroom, the exam demo site, scb.org/AP demo, required and recommended docs, the exam day checklist, the walkthrough video, which is great to make sure that you've done all of your research so that you feel comfortable going into it. And then we recommend number 6, the 5 steps before exam day video, just to make sure that you are overly prepared for this, so that the one thing that you don't have to worry about is the process. The only thing that you really need to worry about is the content. AP 2020 exam rules video, prepping for AP 2020 exams video. And then if you're taking music theory or any of the modern languages, I call them modern languages, so that you don't confuse them with Latin, because Latin is a little bit different from the other languages that have spoken components. So if you're taking a modern world language, then that is also down there, number 10. Okay, do you have anything else to add, Jenny?
No, I think that's about it. They've been troopers today. Everyone should tune in tomorrow. We're going to go over the answers in depth and more test taking strategies and all of that. And then we'll do another practice test on Wednesday. Hundreds for everybody, right, Ben?
That's great. Yes, exactly. Especially for me.
Okay.
I don't know about you. I mean,
yeah.
anyway, we'll see everyone tomorrow, right?
Well, I